Hello, Brian. How are you? Hopefully, you can hear me well. Hope you're having a great day. A little bit different today. Weather is absolutely gorgeous outside, so I decided to sit on a rock or sit on a boulder rather than talk to everyone. I don't fall off here. And I have some company here too. So I have my version of my Krispies. Mike and I, we have a lot of similarities that I don't think he and I even understand yet. So this is Bear and Sawyer. That's Bear. That's Sawyer. And they are brothers that we rescued many years ago. They've been with us for about 8 years now. So yeah, you hear the birds. Yes. Let me show you what I'm looking at here, Brian. So this is my property here. It's hard to see with the trees, but you're basically looking off the side of a mountain. But you can probably hear some cars going down the mountain as well. So here's my place on the mountain here in North Georgia. And most of my time on YouTube is actually in a studio that's in the corner of this garage. But it's just super nice out here. The sun has kind of been kind of disappeared for the time being, but it's extremely comfortable outside, and so thought I would just sit outside and talk to everybody. But I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. For those of you who are pilots, I hope you're flying somewhere or have flown somewhere. And those that are simply enthusiasts, I hope you've had a day full of aviation fun. Me, I spent most of my day today working on the set, which is another reason I'm out here. Been having some technical problems adding a second camera. So I've been trying to figure that out. So it's taking its toll on me. So anyway, have I ever seen a UFO? Brian, I've seen some things that were unexplained. I and technically, yes, I said a UFO, an unidentified flying object. So I have seen them from airplanes, typically at night. The things that I have, we'll say UFOs that I've seen during the day, have moments later we were able to determine what they were. Um, I've had a close call with a RC airplane while flying a real airplane before. And I don't think it was they were trying to ram me or anything like that. I think it was I believe it was probably an accident. Maybe the RC airplane got away from them, but I think they were certainly operating it in an area that they shouldn't have, and maybe these were kids, of course. Maybe they just didn't understand that. So no harm, no foul. If you are in the RC aircraft or like me, rocketry, please be aware of your areas that you're launching or flying in, because airplanes are certainly out and about. So what have y'all been up to? I say we got like 4 people with us, and I knew I said on Brian's channel earlier I was going to come on at 7, but I think that might interrupt my dinner a little bit. So I was getting hungry, so I decided to come on a little sooner. But hopefully all of y'all are having a great day. Um, I'm having a good day. This is a very peaceful day today. So not a whole lot, not a whole lot in the woods today. Very quiet. Usually we have some deer that hang out down there, whatnot. But behind me here goes further up the mountain. But there's actually some houses way up there too. Just can't see them from here. But anyway. Just lost an argument with a door. Ouch. That sounds that sounds painful. I think I've done that a few times as well. I lost an argument with an airplane wing one time. Walked right into it. I've also walked into a propeller before. Fortunately, engine off. But wow, hope you're okay. Um, that sounds a little brutal for a Saturday, but hopefully you're okay. We haven't started talking about aviation or anything yet. I'm open to any topic or discussion you'd like to talk about. Y'all start the ball rolling. I'm all ears. Sometimes I really enjoy knowing what others would like to talk about. I could talk about anything that flies. The weather here is getting warmer. Being on a mountain, it's a little bit cooler up this way, but the weather's getting warmer, so I'm getting ready to break out some rockets. My youngest son has never experienced that, so I'm looking forward to sharing rocketry with actually both my two youngest children. They're 7 and 8, so that's going to be a lot of fun to see their expressions when rockets are launched. The good news is I have a worker who is their farm as a flying or as a launching site. So that's going to be great because I certainly can't launch from here. In the past, I've owned property where I have been able to launch from my yard, so to speak. I cannot do that here. The canopy and trees are just too thick, and I don't have enough property for that. So, fortunately, I've got some great friends around in the area that have farms in the valley below, and or have offered to allow me to launch some of my larger rockets. So, can't wait to get that on film. Really would like to do a live of that. I think that'd be great. What do y'all think? Tell me what you feel. If you'd like to see some live streams of rocket launches, I'd certainly be happy to do that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Dolores, you're asking. I think you're meaning, and I have the same problem. My fingers don't type very well on a phone and stuff, so I completely understand. So it's like you're asking. You like the woods, and you're asking where I'm at. So I live on a mountain in North Georgia. I'll guess I'll leave it at that. But I live here I don't live here by myself. My family lives here, but we are uh, by ourselves here. There's no other homes in the area, so we have our own little place here. And I've lived here for about 10 years now. Really enjoy it. I'm originally from Atlanta, so coming from the city, going to the rural areas of the state, and absolutely love it. The only thing I don't appreciate sometimes is it gets very quiet here, and I'm not nowhere near as close to aviation as I'd like to be. Now, occasionally, along this tree line right here, so this is looking towards the south. So occasionally you'll hear an aircraft flying along the ridge here. So every once in a while, I can stand on my porch up there and I get to wave to a nice gentleman who flies a J3 Cub, another gentleman who flies a Kit Fox, and occasionally we see a glider as well. So that's a lot of fun to see the airplanes almost eye level. Um, it's a lot of fun up here though, but I do miss being closer to an airport because it's a lot easier just jumping a car and take a quick ride to an airport and hang out and whatnot. Deer, yes, we have a lot of deer. Typically in the evenings during the warmer months, and that's going to start up here probably pretty soon. we have a group of deer that lay in our front yard. I'll show you. They lay out there in this circle, and a little bit right here. But we can usually sit on our front porch, and there's 5 or 6 that will come out here and hang out, and we throw them corn and stuff and feed them. Try to keep our furry neighbors happy and fed well. We also have black bear up here. Um, we haven't seen near as many of them as we do deer, but black bear do venture around every once in a while, and they're very gentle creatures. I know a lot of people. You see a lot of videos on YouTube of people losing their minds because they come in contact with a black bear. Let me be the first to say, one, if a bear is doing something to your car or doing something to you, more than likely it's your fault. If you scare them, yes, they can become aggressive. If you're quiet and almost honestly act like they're not even there, they don't really care that you're there either. I get really upset when I see bears killed because they have uh, been scared. Here, where me and my family are very supportive of the wildlife and welcome them. So, in my opinion, I'm on their turf. I built a house on their grounds, so I'm going to respect them, and honestly, I'm going to let them roam wherever they like. So, anyway, it's a lot of fun. If you like wildlife, this is certainly the place to be. So, anybody want to talk about some aerospace stuff? Please let me know. I may have lost everybody. All right, I think I'm back now. Sorry about that. Again, living on a mountain is great, but technology is not so easy to deal with either because Wi-Fi is hard to get, cell phone reception is hard to get. But anyway, hopefully y'all will stay with me. I'm gonna walk around a little bit. Y'all come walk with me. What do we want to talk about today? Sit my drink somewhere where I won't have to carry it around. If I can find a level spot, it's difficult. Walk down the driveway. So, what do we want to talk about, folks? What did y'all think about the 0 to 60 mile per hour on the space shuttle? I thought that was interesting as well. I actually expected it to be higher than that, but 8 seconds. I got pretty sure that most cars in my driveway would do 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. But I thought that was really cool. Interesting to really think about it. You got something so powerful burning liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen, tons of thrust, and accelerates very slowly. But there's a purpose in that. We're talking about a manned space vehicle. So, with regard to that, we have to keep those that are inside the vehicle safe. And to do that, we have to keep the G-forces down. So the way the space shuttle works is it launches relatively slowly. It's literally teetering on whether it's flying or not, and it accelerates very slowly at first. And then as it gets higher, it specifically when it clears the tower, it accelerates much more quicker. Just for a moment, and they throttle the engines back, the main engines, so that they can pass through is breaking the sound barrier. So because of the shock waves absorbed through transonic flight, the structure really gets a beating right there. A lot of vibration, shock waves being broken through and whatnot. So the whole purpose in throttling back is to reduce that stress on the structure. So, and not just one structure, but you think about it, the space shuttle is multiple structures bolted together. So you have two solid rocket boosters, you have the external tank and the orbiter. All these are bolted together, and imagine all that vibration and shock waves. It literally could rip a vehicle apart. We certainly didn't want to see that. So that's what that's the main reason behind the shuttle's slow liftoff. But I thought that was really interesting, and that's something, believe it or not, I did not know. I thought it was probably a little quicker than that. I think the shuttle at liftoff has a G rating of about 3 Gs, 3 positive Gs, which is not a whole lot, but I thought it would be a little bit more acceleration. What do y'all think? I think, was that surprising? One of the biggest things I really like to do on the community posts is post things that are kind of gotchas, things that maybe you don't really expect, stuff like that. Things that are kind of new, unknown. What did y'all think about the orbiter Pathfinder? A lot of people don't realize that even exists, and it's in Huntsville, Alabama. I have had the opportunity, because I live nearby, to travel to Huntsville on several occasions and photograph it and stand under it. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, Pathfinder's pretty amazing machine. It's starting to rain here now. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but if you can hear the rain is not hitting the ground yet, but you can hear it in the canopy. Don't know if my signal will stay broad enough to go back in the garage, but we can try. So I'm interested in what y'all think about the channel so far. Is it something that's useful? Is it entertaining? Is it educational? Is there something that you think I should include, or is there something that's just kind of like things you don't really care about, don't have a whole lot of interest in, I guess I'd say? I'm interested in knowing anything you might have. Any input whatsoever is greatly appreciated, because I certainly want the channel to be educational. But one thing, y'all tell me what you think. One thing I've noticed when I look back, and I do watch my own videos after the fact, and I dissect them, and I try to find things that I can make better and whatnot. One thing I find that I do way too well is be very, very serious. I think I need to add some humor, and I'm actually a pretty funny guy, I think. But I guess I don't cut up too much on camera with this, because it's such a serious thing to me. So, but anyway. Well, I'm glad all y'all stepped in, and no one's posting anything. I don't see anyone posting comments, so I don't have a whole lot to speak about. Hopefully, The set's not ready to do a live stream. Now it's raining. I love the rain though. It's not a bad thing. Signal's kind of weak today. Hey Brady, how are you? Good to have you aboard today. How's your day going? I was walking outside and now it's raining. So just a little rain shower on the mountain. A little thunder now. I'm working on to completing the flight controls video, which I think everyone will find pretty interesting. It's very somewhat brief. There's quite a bit of information on how the instruments work, and then what they do, and then later I'll hit on in the lecture series about how to read these instruments. Some of them are flight display. Those are, you just read whatever the needle's on. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I don't think making a video strictly on that, or maybe I'll include them. Maybe I'll just include that part into the existing video. But the lecture series is coming along pretty nice as far as developing it. It's literally like writing a curriculum. A lot of work to write up stuff. What I'm considering doing is finding or creating a website for the lecture series material so that people can download the documentation. Not just like the syllabus, but the lesson, so to speak. Have the lesson at their hands. They can download it and follow along. Or you can simply download it and just use it as a reference, something to study. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But oh wow, Brady. So it's nearly midnight where you're at. If you don't mind me asking, where do you live? You don't have to be very specific. You could just. Are you in the United States? If it's 12 midnight, I'm assuming probably not. You're probably in Europe. Okay, UK. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all. I know there's a few of you out there. Brian is one of them, and you that tune in. And I know it's super late there, and I really need to find a way of doing things a little earlier here, because I hate the fact, it bothers me, it truly bothers me that some of you either want to participate in the live streams and are not able to because it's so late, or when it's just, if I did it, somehow come up with a way of doing it earlier, I think y'all would appreciate the not having to be up at midnight. Mike just got off his live stream just maybe an hour ago. So yeah, I think Mike's probably I don't know. Sometimes he does a really late one, but I'm glad you do, Brady. I appreciate you staying up late and whatnot. Sometimes it's challenging. I stay up late sometimes to check out Mike's, but they're always so much fun to watch and interact. And I appreciate interacting with with all of you. So, are you like staying up? Yeah. When I was younger, I definitely liked the nightlife, but I I like to sleep these days. I'm a little bit older now, so. But yeah, so you missed Mike earlier, but and you can always go back and watch it. It's always interesting, you know. It's one thing that's good about the live streams is that they record and post afterwards, so you can go back and check it out if you miss it. Oh, cool, an A321. That is awesome. I have a love of modeling. I've got a couple in my collection. Um, some that I have not even finished, but I have never done anything with papercraft and cardstock. And I've seen this by several people. I think it's a kind of a up and catching thing, and I think it's amazing. These models, once they're done, look like they could just fly off the table. Really, really incredible work. So you're gonna do a Spirit Airlines, okay? Is there any particular airline you like best? You mentioned Frontier and Spirit. Are these the air carriers you like? Oh, you always miss Mike's. Yeah, you know, sometimes it's a hit or miss for me too. Sometimes I can really just be right at the right place at the right time, and others I don't even realize I miss them until like a day later. I try to support Mike in every way possible because he has truly inspired me to do my channel, and I owe him that. I wish I could give him a bunch of money, but in the least I can do is take time to promote his channel through my channel and share my thoughts and ideas with him, and even you know, visit his channel as much as I can and like and share his post because he's got some great stuff. I have not, Brady, Hammercraft and Livery Craft. I'm gonna screenshot this because that looks like something I would enjoy. And I'm assuming they do aircraft out of car stock like you're describing. Okay, so so the liveries in general, like the Frontier and Spirit, are just ones that you've come across and you just decide to build. Okay. There is a gentleman, and I don't know his name or even his channel, but there is a person on YouTube, young man, who builds cardstock aircraft, and then he gives them to the pilot of that aircraft. Sometimes he builds it on the he literally builds these models on while on the flight, and he presents it to the crew. I think that's pretty amazing too, and I think those pilots truly appreciate that. Okay, so Brady, what's your favorite aircraft style? Do you like the A321s or? It's hard for me to say that I have a favorite airplane. Um, I've been fortunate to fly many different types of airplanes, and there's so many types out there. You know, regardless if you've been a pilot or not, there's so many different airplanes out there. It's hard for me to narrow it down to just a single favorite. Um, but uh, what would you say? Or just put it in a category. Do you like airliners over military, or do you like civil aircraft? honestly, I'd probably have to say civil aircraft for me because that's where most of my time is. I'm sure if you were a military pilot, you'd probably choose military. But anyway, I guess everyone's got their own way of deciding and their own preference. The 727 and the A340. Okay, I have history with the 727 as a former Delta employee. I remember the 727 very well, and unfortunately, um, I was part of Delta when they retired them. And I honestly will say it was really hard to see the 727 go. I really liked it. I think there was a lot of following of that aircraft. It's a beautiful airplane. It's very long and sleek. The third engine, the three engine tail just looks great. Uh, it's not the typical airplane where you've got the wings housing the engines, or the engines mounted to the wings, so to speak. Where the 727 is more of a pusher. Um, I liked all the three engine aircraft. The When I was at Delta, we also had the Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, and wow, that's probably one of my favorite airliners, honestly. And so many people today never got to experience that, but the uh, the 727 was certainly a great airplane. 50-50 on the military civilian. Okay, like the Cardinal and the Mustang. Okay, so I'm pretty confident you're talking about the P-51 Mustang. The Cardinal, are you referring to the Cessna 177? I'm interested because I've got some Cardinal time as well. The Flying Hair Dryer. I like that. F-35. Oh, that's cool. I've seen an F-35 from a distance, but I've never seen one in flight. In person. I've never seen one in flight in person. I hope to change that. I think they're amazing aircraft. I did and have seen the F-22 fly many times. In fact, I grew up in the town where the F-22 was manufactured. So during those times before I moved up here, F-22s were flying all over the place, and then they were being chased by F-16s. So F-16s were used as a chase aircraft, and so you got to see both at the same time, and it was a lot of fun. Oh, the Concorde! Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Concorde. I've never seen one in person. I've never seen it fly in person. I would love to be one who could say they flew on it. I think that'd be every bit of worth the cost of the airfare. But yeah, the Concorde was something special. Hey, Full Circle Aviation, how are you? Good to see you. How are you today? So Full Circle, your dad had a Cardinal. Hope I'm understanding this correctly. I'm doing great, Full Circle. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you for joining in. I'm standing outside under a porch because it started raining on me, so I'm sorry for the very unprofessional background of a concrete wall. But I'm glad you joined in. Okay, so awesome, Cardinal. The 177 Cardinal, I think, is one of the best looking Cessnas ever produced. I got to fly one occasionally that, believe it or not, belonged to Lockheed Martin. It was part of their flying club in Atlanta, and so I had a good friend of mine who was also a pilot who would occasionally rent that aircraft, and he and I got to fly it together. So um, it was, I think, it was my first retractable gear plane I ever flew in and ever flew myself. If I'm remembering correctly, the 177 was the first RG airplane I flew, um, which would have made it the first complex airplane as well. 9 or 6 Quebec. Isn't it crazy how we remember tail numbers? I can remember a million tail numbers. The airplane that my dad had was 90428 Lima, and so that's cool. Brady, you're asking to be a mod. Why not? I need a few mods actually. Welcome aboard. Yeah, full circle. The Cardinal's a great airplane. It's got that sleek windshield. It doesn't have the wing struts, and I think once the landing gear was up, if you've ever seen one in flight, which you probably have, you've probably been at the airport with your dad flew, and you saw him flying over or something. If you ever see a Cardinal in flight, it's just a beautiful airplane. And to me, it's kind of a shame that it wasn't as popular. I saw a video here a while back where people were talking about how it was not a good airplane. Completely disagree. The Cardinal was a great airplane, is a great airplane, and I feel the same thing about the Cessna Skymasters, the 336 and the 337. They were different, push pull configuration, multi engine aircraft. But I like the Skymaster. I like the way it looks. I've never got to fly one. I hope I do one day, but I just think they're great airplanes. I think a lot of people talk bad about airplanes that they just don't understand. Yeah, full circle, definitely. Cardinal is the most beautiful Cessna they ever made. Absolutely. The second one, in my opinion, is probably the Cessna Centurion, the 210. I like the 210. It doesn't have the struts either. It looks to me like an oversized 182 without the struts because it don't have the sleek windshield of the Cardinal. But Cardinal is definitely a great looking airplane. Oh yeah, you saw the same video. Yeah, I was like, what are they talking about? It's a great airplane. It is a fantastic airplane. And I flew in that airplane, I kid you not. We flew from Atlanta to Sun and Fun in Florida back in the 90s. And it was a hot day. It was, summertime. Hot, humid day in Atlanta. And we had 3 adults in that plane and baggage everywhere else. Like, we were literally at gross weight. And it flew superbly. It just got off the runway and climbed like a rocket. And I would love to have owned one. So your dad's a lucky man. Tell him that. The Cardinal's a great airplane. So Brian, you flew in a 747? Or you got me on that one too, buddy, because I've been in one. I've been in one, just never flew in it. Delta did not have any 747s when I started working there in the late 90s, and they did not acquire any 747s until after I had left. So I missed that. So the largest airplane that Delta had when I was there was the MD-11 and the L-1011 TriStars. But again, I would love to fly on the 747. I hope I'm not missing any of y'all's comments. I'm trying to say, I'm gonna back up just a minute on some of these comments that I think I skipped over a few. So Brady's talking here about in Manchester with an A320. Oh, cool. Very cool. Brady, I think I missed your request to be a mod. Or did I miss full circles? Let me make sure I got y'all. Alright, you're both on board. Sorry about that, full circle. I missed your comment. moderators today are very important. And one thing, we have to be careful who we have as moderators, because we want people that are in the same mindset as us, the same cause. We want to protect ourselves from the crazies that are out there. But I've seen what moderators can do with Mike's channel, and he does a really good job at moderators. And I think, and I'll say this because I'm a moderator for his channel. I think we do a pretty good job. But what's most important is that moderators are like-minded. We want people to stop stuff that maybe we don't get to see in time before it gets out there and offends somebody or whatnot. And I have the same mindset as Mike with regard to my channel. Everyone's welcome here. I'm not going to tolerate any kind of foul language or negative of any kind of way. Certainly not going to tolerate bullying and taking punches at people through words. But I think moderators are extremely important because it keeps the channel healthy for those who are taking it seriously and those that truly want to be a part of it. Yeah, the 747-400, absolutely. 777. Oh, nice, Brady. So, flying out of LHR to LGA. So, American Airlines 777? Is that? I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. In October of 1990, I want to say it was 1998, 1999. I was at work at Delta. I think it was 99, and a friend of mine stopped me as I was on my way to leave that afternoon to go home, and he told me about the 777 coming in. I'm glad he did, because that gave me the opportunity to see the first 777 and the first one wearing Delta's livery. So I got to see the first 777 come in at Delta in Atlanta, and that was truly a cool airplane. And I remember they parked it next to a 767. And if you see a 777 in a distance by itself, it looks like a 767. And I remember thinking to myself as it's taxiing into the ramp, oh, it's not that big. It's a bunch of hype. And then they pushed it back beside that 767, and then you really understand the difference in the size of the two aircraft. And the 777 is truly a large airplane, and then of course once you go up on it, it's amazing. So I'm glad you get to fly in there. That's awesome. I would love to hear how that goes and what your opinion is on the 777. I love them. I think they're a great airplane. Okay, Brady. Yeah, tomorrow? Okay. Do you happen to know what time? If not, it's okay. I got your, I've got notifications turned on, but I will certainly try to tune in to your live stream tomorrow. Do you have a topic for tomorrow? Anything in particular? Or you just conversating? Yeah, Delta's got rid of all their 777s. They retired them, in my opinion, kind of early, but I'm sure there was a good reason behind it. But the 777's a great airplane. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, because typically if I'm not standing here with a camera in my face talking to you fine people, I am extremely busy. So, and that's why my my live streams and my videos are kind of sporadic is because I'm married. I've got 2 kids of my own that live here and 2 adopted kids. So I got a full house and a lot of things going on, a lot of things to do. So sometimes it's hard for me to find time. But if you comment, yeah, definitely, I'll find a way to tune in. Oh, great. So you will be doing your... I can't wait to see that. That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. I cannot wait to see that. I'll show you the rainstorm right here. A little bit different view from just looking at my face. But showers on the mountain. We have little rain showers like this quite often during the warmer months. It'll last and then it'll go away. But it's always... I've never been a fan of the rain until I lived here. I appreciate the rain showers. It brings a fresh fragrance to the mountain. Okay, so Ryan, you got a new camera? I've got a little bit of water running down my screen. I'm sorry. Okay, so you bought a new camera recently? Oh, cool. The A320. That's something else that I didn't get a chance to mess with is when I was at Delta, we had an all Boeing and McDonnell Douglas fleet. So we had 727s, 737s. I got to see the new 737-800s come on board with Delta, which replaced the 727. We did not have any 47s. We did have 757s, 767s. I got to see the new, at that time, the new 767-400ERs come on board, which was fabulous. Let's see, what else? Then we had the MD-80s, MD-88s, and MD-90s. We had the MD-11 and the Lockheed TriStar. I think that's all that I remember seeing. Of course, the Delta Shuttle at the time, which doesn't exist today, the low fare portion of Delta had the CRJs and stuff of that nature, but no Airbuses. So I've never worked around an Airbus, never even flown on an Airbus, believe it or not, until probably upcoming July. This coming July will probably be might be my first time on an Airbus. So I'm a little bit of a Boeing person. not really by choice, but just because that's what I've been around. I think Airbuses are pretty nice aircraft though, from looking from afar. Okay, great, Brian. You're gonna start using it on your live streams and stuff? That'd be fabulous. I think your camera works really good, by the way. I love when you're walking through your town. It's just, I feel like it's like Mike when he's walking through the Smithsonian, the Air and Space Museum. I feel like I'm there walking with him, so it's really great. So, let me make sure I'm understanding you, Brady. So okay, I understand. I was almost confused, but so the Airbus that you're going to be building on your live stream is November 320 Uniform Sierra. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting tail number for a Delta aircraft. Usually they're either Delta Alpha or Delta Limas. So maybe they've ran out of registration numbers. Have you thought about Googling that tail number to see if it's legit? Do that. Or you can, if you Google the tail number, type in aircraft registration, November 320 Uniform Sierra, and look for where the FAA page pulls up. So every aircraft registration number is and you may know this, I'm sorry if you do, but you can literally look up any airplane if you know the registration number. So you can fact check your model and see if it's indeed the Airbus they claim it is. It's always a lot of fun to look up registration numbers. What about you, Brian? Do you like Airbus or you like Boeing? I'm going to think you probably like the Airbus. I'm going to take a guess. Wow. 58,000. That's incredible. You know, I sometimes I get kind of down and frustrated with the growth of my channel, but I think it's only earned. You know, oops, sorry there. Yeah, I get really frustrated with my channel sometimes because I feel like I should be growing more. And first and foremost is I'm not interested in becoming a YouTube celebrity. I don't honestly care if someone recognizes me or knows my name, and I'm certainly not in this to make money. My goal for most of my life has been to share and educate people about aviation and aerospace in general. So I hope to achieve that. And if I create one video that just sparks an interest in someone's mind to where they want to become a pilot or an aviation mechanic, or it don't even have to be aviation related, honestly. I'm sorry about the signal loss back and forth. Thanks for staying with me. But I don't know what last y'all heard me say, but anyway, I've got a lot to learn about YouTube. I've got a lot to learn about video editing. I've got a lot to learn on how to be faster. My videos take an awful lot of time, but it's hard to make a good video, at least in my opinion. And I have a true appreciation for those that I look at their videos and I think they make good videos, because I can only imagine what kind of work and effort it takes to get to that. But you know, I just want to reach the world and show people that, you know, you don't have to be something special to be a pilot. You don't. Does it take some focus? Of course it does. Take some money. Yeah, unfortunately everything takes money, but it's something that anyone can achieve if they really put their mind to it. It just takes time. It takes planning. It takes more planning than anything. Yeah, Birdie, I bet you didn't expect that. 58,000? Wow. I would have flipped backwards out of my chair. That's amazing. Great work. Great work. Yeah, I don't think I have time to do TikTok and YouTube. I'm not much of a TikTok fan. I know a lot of people are. I try to limit myself on certain. So I just picked YouTube. It seemed to work. Well, thanks, Brady. I appreciate that. I don't have a whole lot left on this planet, but we'll see what we can do in a couple of years. You know, I hope to expand this as I get older and closer to retirement. I hope to start volunteering at some museums and start doing some lectures in person. I'm working on some of those contacts now, trying to get familiar with some people that work at some really great institutions that will allow me to speak. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.